exist about workers being buried alive in the poured concrete. It's not true. It makes for a great story, but in reality, it's totally false. Today's modern hard hats, used around the globe, were a byproduct of the Hoover Dam. High scalers that went up and down the canyon walls, drilling holes for dynamite, dipped their caps in tar and let them harden to protect their heads from small falling rocks. It didn't take long for the idea to catch on, and a new product was born: the construction hard hat. The hot summer sun, dehydration, and bad living conditions were a few of the reasons for workers to try and form a union, but that was short-lived. The International Workers of the World, also known as the IWW, sent organizers to Las Vegas. Dam workers wanted better safety standards and better living conditions. By August of 1931, the stage was set for the union to shut down the project, or at least try to. 6 companies rejected the demands of the workers and promptly fired all of them. The workers were told to collect their belongings, their paychecks, and get off the property. The workers that didn't leave were evicted from the camp a few days later. About the same time as the workers ran out of money, the desire to strike was gone. It took a total of 8 days for it to end. But it was not without some wins for the workers. They did get more water coolers, electric lights at the river camp, and some dormitories with toilets, showers, and heating and cooling systems. Here's our first view of Lake Mead, the lake that was created by building the Hoover Dam and blocking the Colorado River. The overall trend of the water level in the dam is that it's been dropping over the last decade or two. At times, it's been as much as about 12 stories, or about 120 feet lower than its peak levels. To fill it completely again, it would take a few winters of above-average snowfall and rain in the mountains that make up the watershed that fills the dam. The situation is not desperate, but it's a trend that's of some concern since the dam creates the water supply for southern Nevada, parts of Arizona, and areas in southern California. That white area we see on the rocks around the lake edges is how we can tell how much the water levels have dropped. That dropping water level actually causes the length of the shoreline to be reduced. There used to be about 700 miles of shoreline, but that was reduced to as little as 500 miles during prolonged drought times. Near Overton, Nevada, the old Mormon town of St. Thomas used to be buried underwater when the lake filled, but old foundations of buildings can now be seen. A concrete water tower, which was built during the construction of the dam, has also become visible with receding water height. Who knows what else will be revealed if the water keeps lowering? Lake Mead has become a water playground for locals and visitors who enjoy boating, fishing, and camping. Operated by the National Park Service, there are campgrounds for tenting and hookups for RVs. There are places around the lake where you can rent jet skis and boats, or it's fun to even rent a houseboat for a few days. It almost staggers the imagination to understand the enormity of the Hoover Dam project. The location of the dam was isolated. It required roads to be built, railroad tracks had to be put into place, 2 huge diversion tunnels were cut into solid rock to rearrange the river's flow. Lines had to be strung across the canyon to move tons of supplies. 2 cement factories were needed. One was at the top of the dam, and another on the floor of where the river was blocked. A steel fabrication plant was constructed, electrical lines were installed, and all of this was taking place in the middle of nowhere. At the peak of construction, more than 5,000 workers were involved in the project. Railroads into southern Nevada were a constant source of supplies for the dam. In addition to all of this, a special city was being built close to the dam site to house workers of the project. It must have been an incredible sight for the workers to see the dam start to fill when construction was complete in 1936.
Alrighty then, I'm going to take over from here. We're almost at the Hoover Dam. You're going to notice right here where I'm slowing down, we're going over a cattle guard. we're going to go